Hi, and welcome back to our Squad Leader tutorial series. Presently, we are working on guns and how they fire against targets. In our last video, we learned how to read the C3, C4, C5, and C6 tables. Now we are going to show how they apply to the two-hit process. In this volume, we will go over the target-based modifiers for the two-hit process, keeping the gun in the same place. In our next video, we will bring in the firer-based DRM as well and show how they affect the two-hit process. In our last video, we left the 8.0, 4.47, and medium machine gun in the open, 3 hexes away from the German 75mm anti-tank gun. The Germans had hit the Russians and resulted in a 2 morale check. The Russians passed the morale check and are okay. However, the anti-tank gun kept its rate, so now it could shoot again. Now, since the gun had already fired at the Russian stack, an acquired sticker with a -1 was placed on the stack, representing that this gun has already shot at this particular stack, so it should be easier to hit the second time. Therefore, the next shot will receive a -1 dice roll modifier. German player elects to fire again at the same stack. Now he subtracts 1 from the dice roll. He rolls a 9, with a red 3 and a white 6. Now normally, that would be a miss, but since he had the acquired sticker from the previous shot, the 9 is modified to an 8. He hits again, but this time he loses rate. Since the gun did not keep rate, the gun is marked with a prep fire sticker and the acquired sticker is turned to the -2 side. Since the German hit the Russian stack, he rolls for effect again on the 1270 column. He rolls a 7 for 1 morale check, which both the 8.0 and 4.47 fail, and they are broken and placed under a DM sticker. Now the gun has several options. It can stop shooting, or it can intensive fire at the Russian stack again. Broken infantry in the open makes a nice target. This time we have to invoke the firer-based intensive fire modifier, as well as the -2 dice roll modifier for the acquisition marker on the Russian unit. The +2 for case F applies, as does the -2 for case N. No matter how many times a gun may shoot at a particular target, the lowest acquired dice roll modifier for a particular gun at a particular target is -2. The other intensifier penalty is that the gun breaks at 2 less, so the gun will break on a 2-hit roll of 10 or higher prior to modification. The German player rolls a 9, with a red 5 and a white 4. Since the intensive fire modifier and the acquired modifier added up to 0, there was no modification to the roll, so the shot missed and the gun did not break. Now the German gun is finished and can do nothing else. Now let's place the Russians in a stone building 4 hexes away. They will start in the gun's covered arc. The two-hit number against infantry at a range of 0 to 6 is 8. However, now the dice roll modifier is +3 for the building, so any two-hit roll is modified by a +3. The German player rolls a 7, with a red 1 and a white 6. Now, if the Russians had been in the open like our previous example, the Germans would have hit the Russians. Because they were in the building and received the +3 TEM from that building, the German dice roll was modified from a 7 to a 10, and it missed. After the first shot, the acquisition sticker is placed on the stack. The German opts to shoot again at the Russians in the building. This time, there's a -1 DRM for the acquisition and +3 for the stone building for a total dice roll modification of +2. Now the German rolls a 7 again with a white 6 and a red 1 again. He missed the target again because 7 + 2 is 9, which is higher than the two-hit number of 8. The German opts to shoot again at the Russians. Now the total DRMs are +3 for the building and -2 for being double acquired. This time he rolls an 8, with a white 6 and a red 2. 8 + 1 is 9, so it's still missed. The German kept rate, so he can shoot again. This time, the German rolls a 7, with a red 3 and a white 4. 7 + 1 is 8, so the gun hits. And the gun is marked with a prep fire. Now the German rolls for effect and rolls a 6 on the 12-70 column for a 2 morale check on all the Russians. This time, the Russian leader and the squad both break when they both roll 7s. Now, for our next example, let's move the gun closer to the Russians and keep the Russians in a stone building. If the gun is right next to its target, that is considered point-blank fire. Point-blank fire dice roll modification is a -2 for a gun to hit roll. The building is still +3, so the total DRM for this shot is +1, +3 for the building, and -2 being point-blank range. Now to see if you got this, ask yourself, if the German player rolls a 7, with a red 2 and a white 5, does he hit the target, and what happens afterwards. I will now put the tables up that you need, and I'll wait 30 seconds while you figure out what the numbers are. In this case, the German did hit the Russians, so he would get to roll on the 12-70 column for effect, and then the Russians would get placed under a single acquired sticker. The German kept rate, so he can fire again at the same target without penalty. The total dice roll modification would be 0, +3 for the stone building, and -3 for point-blank fire and acquired once. If you got it, then you are ready for our next video, which will wrap up how to hit with guns. This concludes our 4th volume on guns. Please remember, these videos are good, but they are only meant as an introduction to give you enough confidence to dive in and enjoy this great game. Dive in and play. Don't worry about making mistakes. If you can, try to learn from an experienced player and possibly attend one of the many tournaments, like the Nor'easter in Massachusetts or the New York State ASL Championship Tournament in Albany, New York. If you found this video useful and you enjoyed it, please subscribe to our channel and like us on YouTube. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to contact me at jdhobbies@live.com. And like always, thanks for watching.